Today, we'll be talking about blood sugar. You have heard so much about blood sugar. Everybody's talking about blood sugar. And whenever they talk about blood sugar, it's always linked to diabetes. And when we talk about blood sugar, we are simply talking about glucose. So today, we are going to talk about that blood sugar so that people will understand what blood sugar actually means and what sugar actually does in the body. Because there's something about sugar. Sugar is so essential to the body. So many functions depend on sugar. What the body actually does is to have a balance of that sugar so that it will not be too high and it will not be too low. So the normal range for fasting blood sugar, when we say fasting blood sugar, if someone stays for some hours, maybe up to 8, 10, 12 hours, and it's usually done in the morning because it is believed that someone that ate around 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock in the night till the following day, the body must have metabolized the sugar. What the body actually does is the body receives sugar. It uses the ones it will use, store the ones it cannot use as glycogen or as fat. So the ones stored as glycogen, when the blood sugar begins to run down, the body will release that sugar stored as glycogen into the bloodstream. So the effort is to make sure that the blood sugar doesn't run zero. If the blood sugar runs zero, that means death. There are no two ways about that. So if someone stays for up to 10 hours, 12 hours without eating anything, it's expected that the person's blood sugar should be at the range of 70 to 99 milligram per day. That is to show that the person's blood sugar is okay, is well regulated. Then, after eating, normally blood sugar is expected to rise. It rises, then it's expected that within 2 hours to 3 hours after eating, that a healthy individual, if you check the person's blood sugar, it will be less than 140 milligram per day. So anything above that or getting to 200 means the person is pre-diabetic. Anything above 200 signifies diabetes. That is when someone has finished eating and after 2 to 3 hours the blood sugar is still above 200. It means the person is diabetic. Like I've said before, if the blood doesn't have certain concentration of sugar, so many processes that depend on that sugar will not go on again. Let's go deeper. When you eat and the carbohydrate in your food gets digested to glucose, what happens? From the small intestine, the glucose enters the bloodstream. Now, the blood sugar concentration rises. That is normal in a healthy individual. And what happens? The pancreas releases insulin, a hormone, which acts to bring down the sugar level. Insulin doesn't throw the sugar away. Insulin does something. It signals the body that sugar is available. Let's make use of sugar. And the ones that cannot be made use of, let it be stored as glycogen and as fat in the adipose tissue. Now, have you wondered why insulin brings down the sugar level but doesn't bring it down below the normal concentration like I mentioned before? That is to show you that even though the effort is to reduce the blood sugar, it is not to remove it from the blood. So that means that the blood sugar is actually very important to the body. So for this sugar to enter inside the cell, it doesn't just go on its own. The human body is highly regulated. You have been told that the cell has membrane, and the essence of the membrane is to regulate movement of materials in the body so that nothing just enters. The cells of the body are not just there that anything can enter, because if anything can just enter and go out anytime at will, then the system will collapse. How does glucose get to the parts of the body where it is actually needed?